Today is the crystallization of a project that has laid on my heart these past 9 months. And that is a project that will be launched at the first Asia Pacific Consultation on Marketplace Mindfulness, titled Christ-Based Mindfulness Resilience. It will be a project and a program that will be used throughout the Asia Pacific region because God has laid it on us. And it is taken from scriptures. When the Apostle Paul, writing to the church at Corinth in 1 Corinthians 2:16, he says, but we have the mind of Christ. And tonight's reading, and I take it from Charles Spurgeon, the preacher of preachers, as he writes in his faith checkbook. It's taken from Psalm 16 verse 8, and this is it. It is settled. Like making a piece of cake. That's the shape it takes. When Jesus Christ cried out on the cross, it is finished. It is finished once and for all. And these are the words of King David. In Psalm 16 and verse 8 he writes, I have set the Lord always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. The mind of Christ is to set the Lord always before me. I cannot move. That's resilience. And he writes, this is the way to live. There's only one way. When Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, no one goes to the Father but through me. This is the way to live. With God always before us, we will have the noblest companionship, the holiest example, the sweetest consolation, and the mightiest influence. This must be a resolute act of the mind. I have set. And it must be maintained as a set and settled thing. Always to have an eye to the Lord's eye, and always to have a ear for the Lord's voice. This is the right state for the godly man. His God is near him, filling the horizon of his vision, leading the way of his life, and furnishing the theme of his meditation. So mindfulness meditation is set. We don't have to go into the worldly things that confuse us. It is set in the scriptures. It is in stone. It is engraved. And God has engraved it in our hearts and in our minds. What vanities we would avoid, what sins we would overcome, what virtues we would exhibit, what joys we would experience if we did indeed set the Lord always before us. And why not? I always quote Proverbs. Like a dog returns to his vomit, so a fool returns to his folly. And much of my life has been in that posture of foolishness to those who are perishing. This is the way to be safe. The Lord being ever in our minds, we come to feel safety and certainty because of His being so near. He is at our right hand to guide and aid us, and hence we are not moved by fear, by force, by fraud, or fickleness. When God stands at a man's right hand, that man himself is sure to stand. That's resilience. Come on then, foes of the truth. Rush against me like a furious tempest, if you will. Come. God upholds me. God abides within me. Whom shall I fear? Psalm 27 verse 1. So this is the birth of the Christ-Based Mindfulness Resilience Program on this day, December the 3rd, 2021.